I just want to give a big congratulations to Bibi Netanyahu for winning his 5th term as Prime Minister of Israel. What a world statesman. I really like that guy and respect him. Okay, love you guys. Today is April 10th, 2019. I'm going to do a quick Hobbit Garden update. It's windy out, so I'm not sure how much I can show you in the garden and without the sound. It's also going to be windy tomorrow, so I went ahead and did the update today. They say the wind is gusting around 22 to 23 miles per hour, so that's a pretty good wind. I did get my taxes done, and to celebrate, I went downtown to Planters and bought a few seeds and some plants. And I bought some mint, and I've already planted it. I bought 5 seed potatoes, and I put 1 per bucket, which normally I put heavier, but I usually don't get a very good result on my buckets, so we'll see what happens. And then above the potatoes, I planted either lettuce or, something else. Parsley. What else did I plant? Well, savory. Anyway, different things. I've also planted nasturtium seeds. Now, they're a few years old, so I don't know if they're gonna take off, but the nasturtium seed is kind of heavy duty, and I've heard it recommended that you might take a little sandpaper to the outer edge and rough it up to help it to sprout. So I roughed up all those seeds, and I soaked them a few hours, and then I planted them. So we'll see. We'll see if I get nasturtium in all my pots, because I pretty much planted a seed per pot. And nasturtium is real good to keep away insects and things, and it's just a beautiful plant. Well, here, let me show you what's in the greenhouse. Now, outside it's 80 degrees. Now inside it's about 96 in my greenhouse. It gets hotter, but 96 is plenty warm. Now what's odd is that not tonight, but tomorrow night it's supposed to get down to 33 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to go from 80 to 33 in a day and a half. So that'll be odd. I mean, that's Missouri. We get that type of mood swings. Here, let me show you. So I planted some mint right here. This is says orange mint, and then I read that cabbage go good with mint, so I planted 2. Those are Dutch cabbages next to it, and then this is a real nice. Look at that. We had such a good deal on mint. This one is what's it say? Chocolate. Yeah, that's chocolate mint. That's one of my favorite mints. And again, you can see this time I planted a red cabbage by it. Look, last week there was nothing popping up. Now I planted these on the 1st, so it took about at least a week to show, and then that's looking more. You can see that much easier. And I had some of my, again, these radishes were planted on the 1st, and then some other, there's a couple little, so that's kind of nice. So it looks like I've got some things popping up. And again, I think that one's kale. That one's looking real nice. And then again, I had another. This is a peppermint. And it looks like that cabbage is really, maybe I planted it too close. We'll see what happens. Mint's supposed to take over. Maybe the cabbage will win. I hope not. And then some collards. They came up finally. And these are Texan onions. These new ones here. And then the old ones are a mixture. Some of them are leeks, I think. I'm pretty sure. And here we have some radishes popping up, and I just planted these. I think, yeah, there's a potato in each one of those two. And then the 3 5-gallon buckets on the other side of the fence right there. You see them? There's a potato in the bottom of each one of these. It's about 6 inches up from the bottom. At least the top of the potato is about 6 inches up. Now, well, the wind blew that over. Now, on Sunday, I finally saw potatoes. You see that? Breaking out. So I've got, these were planted on the 17th, and now they broke the compost on Sunday. And the same thing here. Let me show you. The peas on Monday. So Monday this week, the peas showed themselves. Now these were the first ones I planted. So these 3. So the peas started coming up, breaking through on Monday, and today's Wednesday. So it's been 3 days that they broke out. Now these were planted later. They haven't broke out. I did plant pole beans here and here. In fact, I planted pole beans all over the place. In fact, all this along the fence, about 3 inches out, all through here, I've planted pole beans. And then the front fence, and maybe to here, yeah, from here all the way around, I planted peas. Now peas like cold weather. And if you can see on the other side of the fence, I planted, I planted some nice onions. They're supposed to get big. I'll find the name and post it on the video. And these are the Texas sweet onions. So I've had enough onions that I planted one of my raised beds in the back with those new onions. In fact, just today. And look at these. I'm not sure what those are called, but one of my plants I divided up, and now I've got a whole bunch of little ones. It's this one right here. You see that? That's a perennial. It comes back every year. And I had to dig it up and transplant it, and so I broke it up into pieces, and I've got a number of those little plants. I don't know what I'll do with them. Okay, that's pretty much the update. I still have at least, you see what's happening here? As I started to sift this container, I guess that's about 8 gallon, I found a colony of ants. And so I have been spraying the ants. In fact, I don't know if there's any, it's been a day and a half, but I've slowly been spraying. Oh, nope, the ants are still alive. They're still ants, I mean. So I've got a lot of them taken care of. So this is like a cup of soap in a gallon of water. So I have a little pressure, that little container. You can pump it up, and I'm trying to get rid of the ants before I mulch it and stuff and make. So it's working some. Just takes time because the ants are underneath the dirt, and when you layer by layer. So by the time I'm done, I hope to have gotten rid of the ants out of that dirt. And I'm now in the backyard. I dug up and added a little bit of compost to this little raised bed, and then I planted all of those here's the name, Ailsa Craig onions. Now these are supposed to get real big, even though a lot of the ones I planted in the back were the small ones of the bunch. I bought about 100 actually, little onions, and then I dug up. You see the big ones? Those are onions I dug up that came up from last year, and then I just planted them again in here. They were, you can see in that mess back there. I'm not sure what I'll do with those other raised beds, but I do have one coming back. Can you see that one right there? Now that's oregano, and I guess oregano is a perennial, because that's come back. This is the third year it's come back. So that's a nice herb, and it kind of spreads out and takes over. Now, this was my project for yesterday. I was so pleased. I went down and bought some plants, at least this one. Now that is peppermint. That's another peppermint. So I bought 2 peppermint plants, it looks like. And that'll be nice. I hope it really moves out. And then I came back and I planted a whole bunch of some cabbage. But look, this here, that's actually dwarf kale. This one seems to be dying. So I planted some dwarf kale in with Dutch cabbage and red cabbage all around this peppermint plant. And I'm hoping, this is an old lawn wheelbarrow. You can see it's broken. I put some lawn cloth underneath, and I've made it into a little pot. Well, I hope that does pretty good. A lot of stuff needs to be done, and the heat is I don't like it. I'd like it to be in the 60s or 70s for a month or so. But anyway, it's going to be quite a mood swing, a temperature swing, like 50 degrees. So that's going to, I don't think it's going to hurt any of my plants. The tomatoes and things I'll take inside. I haven't planted those out really. It could do damage to one squash plant, but I'll put a bucket over the top of it, and that might save it. So, but the peas like cold weather. The peas can take a freeze, if it's just freezing. And cabbage like cold weather. So, and onions like cold weather. So that's the main things I have planted out right now. And lettuce likes cold weather, and so does most greens. So those actually should flourish, in the 30-degree weather. Okay, that's pretty much the update. Thanks for watching. I'll love you guys. Bye-bye now.